Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make a vegetable dum biryani. Super simple to make with a basic set of ingredients from onion, ginger, garlic and some whole spices along with some vegetables. So without wasting any time, I'm going to show you the step-by-step method of how to make this delicious tasting vegetable dum biryani. So let's get started. So in this home style dum biryani, I'm going to be cooking the biryani over a gas stove and then sealing the top of the biryani when all the masalas and the rice are together with some dough. So I'm going to prepare that dough, which is with atta, and then keep it ready, and then after that we'll put all the spices and the masalas together. So into my large mixing bowl, I have some atta which I've measured and kept, which is just whole wheat flour. You can also add maida, whatever atta you have like leftover, and just make a nice thick dough out of it, because this dough is going to seal the pot in which we're going to be dum cooking our biryani. Okay, so very home style, may not be the exact traditional method, but works to actually preserve flavors from all the spices and masalas that are going to go into the biryani. Okay, so let's just mix it and make a nice firm dough. Add a little water at a time. Okay, there you go. Once all the flour comes together, then you know that the dough is done. You don't have to knead it too much because it's just a dough for sealing it. And once all the dough comes together, I'm just going to go ahead and cover this pan and keep this aside, and then we'll start cooking biryani. Okay, so this is important, right? Because you don't want to be scrambling for the atta towards the end. So for the dum biryani, the first thing that I'm going to do is to partially cook my rice. So I'm going to half cook my rice in water by boiling it for about 4 to 5 minutes, and after it's boiled, I'm going to drain out the water and then keep the rice aside. And then after we partially cook the rice, I'm going to put the masalas together. So I have some rice that I've washed and kept over here in this bowl. So the first step is to boil the rice in some water. Okay, there you go. And I'm going to add in some salt, and now I'm going to bring the rice to a boil for about 3 to 4 minutes and turn off the heat. Okay, and you can use any type of rice that you want. Here I've used the jeera samba rice, which is a very popular rice which you get in South India and used for making biryanis, chettinad pulaus and a lot of different items. Great, so now I'll go ahead and bring the rice to a brisk boil, and after that put in the masalas together. The rice was boiling for about 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm ready to sort of drain out the water, and I'm going to keep this rice aside. Notice that the rice is just perfectly cooked until all down to just give it a bite. It will not be raw, it will not be fully cooked, it will be kacha, and that's exactly how you want the rice to be. Okay, so I'm going to now take this rice and keep it aside and then begin to make our masalas. Great, so now we're all set to cook our biryani. Ensure that you have a nice large pot and also has a lid that you can seal it completely with, okay? And that's extremely important. You have a large pot because we're going to be cooking the masalas. It's going to have potatoes, vegetables and also the rice, and it's all going to fluff up and then become a nice flavorful biryani. So let's just get started. Okay, so into my pan in which I'm going to be making dum cooking the biryani, I'm just going to go ahead and add in the oil. Okay, so to this I'm just going to go ahead and add in the sliced onions, and I'm going to add in the chopped ginger, garlic and green chilies. So you could do it two ways. One is you could grind this into a nice smooth paste and then add it in, or you can add chopped, and whichever works fine. The taste and flavors are not going to change, and I always like to chop them because it gets a beautiful flavor and also takes in a little less oil in bunawing. Okay, so that's great. So I'm just going to go ahead and saute the onions on medium heat, not on high heat, on medium heat until it becomes soft, lightly browned and almost caramelized. Okay, we don't want it to be completely caramelized, but just almost caramelized. So let's wait for that texture of the onions. It has to be done on low to medium heat, and this is a step which is extremely critical because that's going to add to the extra flavor and touch of the biryani. So let's wait for caramelizing our onions. Okay. So notice that the onions have got a nice golden and little brownish color, not completely caramelized. At this stage, I'm just going to go ahead and add all the spices. I have some cloves here. Whole spices keep releasing those flavors, and it's extremely important to add whole spices, okay? And I have some cinnamon sticks that I've broken and some whole elaichi. Great. So now we'll saute the spices for a bit, for about a minute, and after that we'll add in the tomatoes and all the remaining masalas, and then again cook the tomatoes until it becomes nice and mushy. So this looks good. I'm going to go ahead and add in the chopped tomatoes. Great. Now we'll add in all the other masalas, okay, from turmeric powder, red chili powder, the garam masala powder, and some coriander, and we'll add the salt right at the end. Okay, so we'll now saute this tomato masala until it becomes soft and mushy, and after that we'll be ready to put everything else together. Okay, so another 3 to 4 minutes the tomatoes will become nice and soft. So the tomatoes have been sauteing for about 3 to 4 minutes and they've become soft and mushy as well. At this stage I'm just going to go ahead and add in the bay leaves. I'm just going to tear them up, and we'll add in the potatoes. I've soaked them in water so it becomes soft and it's also peeled. I like adding large chunks of potatoes because then the masalas like seep in through beautifully, and then you have a nice soft potato out there. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add in the beans and now the carrots. Okay, we'll saute this in the masala just to combine it. Okay, and I'm going to add in the chopped mint leaves. We'll give it a stir. Mint leaves adds a lot of flavor to biryani. Okay, and now to this I'm going to add in the dahi. Dahi adds that subtle sourness that you need for the biryani, and it makes it taste really nice. So give it a stir for another 3 to 4 minutes so the vegetables get well coated with the masala. Okay, another 3 to 4 minutes, let the vegetables cook in the masalas. I'm going to sprinkle some salt at this stage so that the vegetables also get some flavor and taste. Okay, so we cooked the rice with some salt. We're going to add some salt to the masala again. Great, so let's give it a stir, and for about 3 to 4 minutes give the vegetables a stir in the masala. So this looks perfect now. Give this a taste and check if you need a little more salt, and if it looks good then it's fine. At this stage I'm just going to go ahead and add in the rice. Okay, we'll just spread the rice in on the top. Okay, I'm not going to stir it in as yet. I'm just going to let the masalas be at the bottom, and after that I'm going to take a few strands of saffron and add it on the top. We're going to be adding some water, and then sealing it and then dum cooking it. So for about 2 cups of rice, I've already partially cooked it, and typically you would add 4 cups of water, but now I'm going to add only 2 cups of water, and that's good enough to sort of fluff up the rice and cook all the vegetables inside as well. So let's just go ahead and add in the water, and we're going to seal this now and cook our biryani, dum cook our biryani with all the flavors in completely low to medium heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. Turn the heat to low, cover the pan, and then let's seal our lid with the atta that we made right in the beginning. So I'm going to cover the pan and ensure the lid is fitting tight. Now I'm going to sort of roll out this atta into a thin log, okay, and so that we are able to seal the edges. Okay, so let's just get started with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and ensure that the edge between the pan and the lid is completely sealed with this atta. This prevents any steam from escaping, as well as it sort of packs in all the flavors into the biryani. Okay, and this is extremely important, and the taste of this biryani is simply different. It tastes really nice. Great, so let's just seal it in. This looks perfect. It's sealed well, And all I'm going to do is to now turn the heat to medium and dum cook this biryani for about 15 to 20 minutes. And one of the indicators for me that I typically sort of watch out for about 15 to 20 minutes is that you'll notice that the atta starts separating from the lid, and then steam and the pressure will start releasing and try to sort of get out of the pan from somewhere. And most often that happens with me, and that's my indicator. Otherwise, 15 to 20 minutes, turn off the heat. So after you turn off the heat, allow the biryani to rest for about 5 minutes before you can sort of open it, give it a stir, and then take a bite. So we'll wait now until the biryani dum cooks itself. So it's been a good 20 minutes. I let it to cook on very low heat, and I could see the steam coming out from the edges and the pressure building up and the flavors also coming out through the edges as well. I could smell the biryani absolutely in the kitchen, and I allowed it to rest for 10 minutes after I turned off the heat, and now I'm ready to cut open the dough. There you go. I'm able to release it. Just gonna go ahead and release it. That smells wonderful. Notice all the colors. It looks beautiful. I can't wait to stir it and then serve it and eat it along with some tomato onion raita. It looks so beautiful. Beautiful. Notice how fluffy it is. And I'm going to show you how well the vegetable is cooked as well. And the potatoes are cooked perfectly, and there you go. It's done. Yum. This is absolutely divine. And this is what you call a biryani. And to add to a finishing touch, what I'll typically like to do is to also stir in some fresh mint leaves, and maybe also add a dollop of ghee on the top to give it that additional taste and flavor. But this is just wonderful. You could also do that. And what you could also do is to caramelize some onions and then to put it on the top, and it'll taste really nice. So this is good. I love my biryani and I can't wait to have it. Notice those big pieces of potatoes. That's how I love my biryani. Great. So this is done. So I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe of how to make the dum biryani. Wasn't it really simple? Yes, it is simple. All you had to do was to ensure that you have all the ingredients ready, from the rice to the pudina to the onion, ginger, garlic, and the tomatoes and the vegetables and the spices, and put together in this particular process that I showed you. Very simple, absolutely. You have to try this recipe, and when you do, don't forget to take a snapshot of it and tag me across all your social channels, because I would love to hear from you. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.